ahead, slowing down and making no time. I gotta keep it rolling. Those windshield wipers snapping out the tempo, playing perfect rhythm with the song on the radio. I gotta keep it rolling.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to an early premiere of this week's Rideshare Rodeo audio podcast. I am stoked to have my guest, Mr. Delivery TV, Luis. Many of you know him. I see Eva Naska in the chat, and she says, I can't hear anything. We just started. So can you hear us now?
Hello. How are you? Hello. Testing. 1, 2, 3.
But Luis, thank you for joining me today.
I'm so
really
happy.
Appreciate this. And you guys, Luis and I have been talking off camera a lot and then bringing our conversations into our own podcast. He's been doing it. I've been doing it. And I think today's going to be kind of just one of our conversations that we usually have on the phone or whatnot, that we talk about some pretty intense things that are going on. And sometimes they're hard to talk about. Sometimes they're hard to listen to. Some people don't agree with them. Some people do. But I think that a lot of people aren't fully aware of the scope of all of this and how far everything goes. Something's a win if something happens. Something's a lose if something happens. But really, it's so intricate that what seems to be a win could have partial losses. I mean, and in life, that's kind of the case. You got to give and take a little bit. So, Luis, I mean, I guess let's start with, I know you did your live last week. I think this will be a good jump start to it. What were you telling your audience about? Because I know, look, by the way, guys, driver rights is still up. I will put it in the chat here while Luis is talking, but you can still sign driver rights. There's 80 plus thousand signatures on it. It writes your congressman. But Luis is starting a change.org movement as well. And I don't know if you can somewhat summarize what you went through with this audience. Because for those of you on the audio podcast world that don't know, I've had Luis on before. He represents the Spanish community pretty much head and I mean, nobody's even close to what he's doing for the Spanish community, in my opinion, for the gig economy. So can you kind of break down what you were talking with your audience about?
Definitely. How are you, everybody? Hope you're good. Hope you're great this Sunday. And I hope you get your goals, your financial goals from this. I really hope that. I was talking this last Thursday about transparency. If you have good transparency, if you have that a scenario where you have everything clear, crystal clear, really clear. In that situation, you mentioned something that helped me to share the message this Thursday. And it was, nobody's going to get angry with more transparency. I love that expression that you use. I love it.
Yeah.
It was great. And that was like the frame that I used to share the message. And everybody is talking about minimum wages, minimum pay, which I think is utopia. It's
it's a fantasy.
It's a fantasy. That's right.
Yeah.
Because we have 7 million drivers, and how do you pay the minimum to 7 million drivers? And is a weird idea from the beginning in the way that you don't go to these apps to have a minimum wage. You go to this app to get extra income. Some people can see the possibility of full time in their area, which I really recommend. Not be depending of just one platform, but have different platforms. There are a bunch of platforms that you can use, but you don't have to depend on only one platform, because that is not good, because for these apps you are only a number, and if they want to deactivate you, we already know what is going to happen, and we're going to be talking about that. So
Yes.
Basically, transparency. If you have a clear if you cannot change something that you cannot count. If you want to change something, and if you want to improve, if you want to manage something, you have to be able to count it. And today, in today's world, gig apps are not allowing that. And yes, a bunch of people are gonna say, well, leave the apps, go to other place. Well, yeah, you can do that, but we're gonna be here. And what we're
Yeah.
trying to do is creating a legal frame so people can, when if people come to these apps and people come to these side hustles, and they can find a legal frame to work in a right way, not in
Yeah.
a in a dark and something that you don't know. I'm never gonna forget the interview that Rideshare guy made to the president of DoorDash a couple of years ago, when
Mhm.
he was asked about why you don't give the complete amount, and he mentioned different things, but one of the things that he mentioned that it stuck to my mind was, well, and drivers can feel that it's a little surprise. Like and I was like, did I really heard that? And yeah, it's there. You can go and watch it.
Yeah.
We're talking about money, and money is serious, and we cannot be working with surprises. We need the numbers,
Yeah.
transparent.
If I want a surprise, I'll just go gambling.
Exactly.
I mean, I'll go to the casino. When I'm working a platform and working, I don't need surprises, because I don't need a negative surprise.
And what we are doing here is, because you have a platform, I have a platform, and yeah, you can go to do different things, but we're gonna be here. So we are fighting in a way so you can find a right way to work, and I'm gonna do that. And I know that a bunch of content creators are like, we're just gonna show how to work and live in this Disneyland world where everything is beautiful. I cannot do that. I need
No,
to.
I
I
don't
need
either.
to be really vocal about what's going on, and I think in the end, drivers are gonna be um, thankful and in a better position if someone do something, and that is what I'm trying to do with your help, because you, my man, without you, I don't know, you give me like a road to take, which I loved.
Just so you guys know, like, Luis and I brainstorm all the time. So I'm like, he's picking ideas from me, I'm picking ideas from him, from our conversations, and we both build them into our podcast. So this is why this is even a deeper conversation, because like for New York, and for instance, I was hearing you talking about minimum wage. Minimum wage is so different. And I'll also address the content creator point. There's some great content creators out there, a lot of great ones, but there was a time when you could talk about, hey, here's how you do this, hey, here's how you do that. But now the apps have gotten very wise, and they understand that they love the fact that every market in every state is different. They're keeping us all on different pages. So if like somebody calls you from New York or Maine or Washington State or Idaho, they might have a totally different story, not just how they're doing, but they might not be like, you might call somebody in Idaho and they might, hey, do you have the tier system yet? Nope. I still have Top Dasher at 50%. They keep, that's not unintentional, you guys. They love us being on different pages, because it causes commotion between the drivers instead of them aiming it at the companies. Like, how are you making that much? That's impossible, blah, blah. It just causes a lot of like friction. So really, to be putting information out about, like, as a whole country, you can't, because every market is different, both in the cost of living, the amount you can earn on these platforms, how accessible these platforms are, which platforms are accessible and are earnable in your market. And I'm also like, where these platforms are in your market. You might have two versions back, and it's not just because you didn't update the app, it's because they haven't updated your market. So, and then we move to minimum wage, and we talk about, like New York. New York is Luis gave me, showed me an article. He just posted it today for New York Post that, was talking about it's talking about how this basically how the minimum wage doesn't work out, but it's even dirtier than that. There are people who are working rideshare and in New York, and they've been told this is what you're going to be paid per hour. In some markets, it's active time. In some markets, they actually moved it to actual time on the platform. Therefore, they've said we can't have as many drivers, which we've already are always known. Oversaturation is horrible. It's gotten worse and worse and worse. They love it. But now it's to a point in New York where it's like, wait, we can't pay all of you to be on the platform. Some cities just have the active time, so they still don't care how many of you are on there. But in the case of like a New York, they've made the driver's schedule. So all the promises where you're going to make way more money. And now these drivers found a few months back, well, I can't just go on whenever I want. I need to schedule blocks. Okay. How's that going for you? I'm not liking it that much. Okay. Now you can schedule your blocks, get on one, and they can say, sorry, we don't have enough volume tonight. We don't need you.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if you're scheduled, if like you used to go on when you wanted and work the tougher shifts to make more money, good for you. But now it's, okay, schedule your blocks. And for a while, that was like, okay, at least I can count on my 3 shifts this week. Now you can't. You might not have any. You might schedule 3 and get on, and they go, hey, we just don't have the volume tonight. And I compare that to a bar. Like I've worked in many bars. You could be the 3rd bartender on, and they say you're on at 9 o'clock. You call at 8:30, and they're like, yeah, we're not going to need you at 9. Call back at 9:30. Call back at 9:30, and they're like, yeah, we're just not that busy. Don't come in tonight. Okay, well, now I just lost a shift.
Some percentages of this article from New York Post. I think this is really important to share with the community. For example, they mention this in wages and earnings. So 64% sounds beautiful, right? 64% more money, but here's the problem. Change in purchasing habits. People are purchasing less because it's more expensive. Job loss. Uber Eats report a decrease of 12,000 delivery workers. 12,000. So I want to know what union have to say about that. Increasing fees. The apps increase delivery fees. Average $2.30. One of the 8. This is important. Decrease in active accounts comparing to the previous quarter. 9% percent less than the previous year with 65,000 drivers. When you say 8%, that's a bunch of people. So we're living right now in an anarchy and in a cultism. Let me try to say the word, and I'm sorry about my French.
He's saying anarchy.
Anarchy and occultism is the right way to say it.
Which one?
Occultism is a well. Basically, we're living in a situation where delivery apps are not showing the real numbers. And not only that, and we were talking about that, but we're also living in a situation where they don't really care about who is doing the deliveries, and the saturated markets. That is a huge issue. That this is fun. Spark Driver. A year ago, I created a connection with Spark Driver. I went to this event in California. I have the opportunity to meet the Spark Driver team, and we create a communication a year ago. I start sharing all the freaking things that were happening and crazy things that you already know, and situation got worse. They never mentioned the situation. It just got worse. And you know what? I really believe that not only they don't care, I really believe that it works for them, the
Oh
situation.
yeah.
It's definitely working for them, and they don't want to change it. Not only Spark, which I think is the worst app right now.
Yeah.
When
Well, I
people
think there's some other factors in Spark too, and actually you've brought to light some of these to me. Like, is it who's the person that dispatches the Spark orders? What is their title? Like the person that is,
team leader, I think,
or
team
the
leader.
person who's running them out to the cars
Yeah,
with the
well,
with
you have the team leader, and I don't know the name of the other people, but the
right
who manage
the loaders, I think.
yeah,
Okay, so the loaders have the ability to take an order away from me and reassign it to you
yeah.
without any reason. Even if
Mhm.
I'm not late or something, I could be sitting there waiting, going, when I was here early, I'm waiting, and it could just be unassigned and reassigned to a car two down from me, which again adds to the narrative about this whole Spark thing and like where is the cover up really ending? Because it seems to be everywhere. Clearly there's organizations, and Luis and I have talked about this at length. He's seen it much more firsthand than me down in Houston. And I know like some other people have reported in Arizona, and I know that it's going on everywhere, but Spark is one of the most bullied platforms right now that's being run by basically, I don't want to say like gangs or criminals, but kind of. It seems to be that, if you really want to get good Spark orders, you better be affiliated with something,
Yes,
whatever you want to call it,
and
or
I see.
else you're not going to be, you can't just go on to Spark anymore. And maybe you can, maybe you're one of the few lucky ones, but if not, most people can't go on there and make money anymore on their own.
And it's really easy to be in a market where that is not happening, and watch the content of other people that are suffering from these type of situations. And it's really easy to say, come on, leave that people alone. Leave those guys alone. They need to work. Yeah, because you're not being hit by the problem. But if you go to a Walmart and you usually in a week base do like or make like $500, $1,000, and suddenly you start watching these guys come and come and come, never stop, come, almost
Mhm.
doing barbecues outside of a Walmart.
Sometimes trading phones. Like you can see some like just pure, like I said on 13 yesterday, I dubbed the word scumbaggery. And that's what I'll call it. Like literally like, hey, here's this phone, wait for the next order, give me the one that the order's for, I'll take it, I'll run it, I'll come back, I'll get the other phone, I'll swap it back out. They have systems that are even way more intricate than that.
And of course, it's really easy to say that. Come on, leave those guys alone. Well, yeah. Here's the problem. The problem is that they are gonna come and they are gonna take your money. And
Mhm.
a bunch of drivers, thousands of drivers, are suffering from this situation. And of course, you can see this with Spark Driver, because the way that Spark Driver works is that you are in the Walmart parking lot and you can see what's going on. The thing with DoorDash is that you don't see that because you are not waiting in a parking lot. So you don't have an idea what's going on. Because if for example, if the way to work with DoorDash is going to a Dash Mart and wait there for orders, you will see the problem.
Oh
But
yeah.
you don't see the problem because you are always moving, so you don't see it. But it's worse.
Mhm.
It is worse. So um, I received last week. I received this video of a team leader having fun with the people who are doing weird things, and when you see that, you are like, man, this is incredible, because the people who need to make the rules and who need to create the order is in a collision, is collide with the bad actor. So is the here's the thing: you have two options. First, see to the other side and wait till they hit your pocket,
Mhm.
or be vocal about it. I see the Facebook post when people share photos and people are like, oh, come on, why are you taking pictures? And why you have to go to that Walmart and suffer in order to understand what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
In my situation, I could never, I never went back to Spark Driver. I just couldn't.
Mm-mm.
So yes, drivers are saying, I don't, come on, leave those guys alone. Okay, that's that is a way to think, but wait, and you will see.
Well, the other thing too, I do have to say this. The other thing is that, look, when we are discussing what we're kind of talking about here and alluding to, when we say illegal accounts or even have mentioned migrant accounts, that doesn't only apply to migrants coming into the equation. There's people who get deactivated for no reason and therefore go to Facebook Marketplace and buy an account there. Now, in both cases, the illegal migrants or a DoorDash account holder that pays taxes and lives in the United States who got deactivated, either one of those who goes and buys an account from Facebook Marketplace is in a very unique position because they don't have to pay taxes. Because that is not their name. It's never going to come back to them. It's going to go to somebody else who doesn't even know what's going on. And then if that doesn't get paid, guess what, guys? It all gets spread amongst the taxpayers in the state.
We're talking, I don't know if you saw the article of Priscilla, this girl who was she had this huge business selling accounts and earning almost $1 million selling accounts. And that was 3 years ago. Now you can just go to Facebook, and this is a little nugget that I have. I received this image today. This is a Facebook group. Look, let me put it here. They are using my image, my photos, selling DoorDash accounts.
Oh, okay. So what he's showing you, even though it has him, it has no relation to his brand.
Nothing. They are using my image. Look at this.
Yep.
DoorDash accounts guarantee activation. Just go and purchase your DoorDash account using my image.
Have you reported it?
I did. The thing is that if you report this to TikTok or if you report this to Facebook, they say, there's no violation.
Well, you know, I would say that legal rideshare would have a qualm with that because there's some things that they don't want to get involved in, but that's identity theft straight up.
I'm definitely gonna because on TikTok is awful what's going on right now. On TikTok is worse. Using my image, my videos is crazy what's going on right now on TikTok.
You know, not to give people ideas, but listen, if you really want to, if you're trying to use Luis or my brand, you're going to need to do, like, if you're not familiar with TikTok, you're going to need to do what's called a stitch or something and add something to it. Like, hey, these guys are talking about this, and it would still be wrong. But that's a thing. That's a toggle thing that Luis and I can turn off on our accounts too. Like, you can't stitch or duet us. But if you leave it on, and I like to, people could come in there and stitch things because that's allowed. But to just use his image, that's not allowed. That's identity theft. There's no two ways about it. And in fact, while we're still on this, even Oscar lives in Chicago, and she is asking Luis, what are you saying to your community about buying illegal accounts? And that's why I wanted to hit on the fact that not all illegal accounts are migrants, even though Chicago's suffering. Denver's the #1 sanctuary city now in the nation per capita. So we have 48,000 illegal migrants that we can't take care of, and our own homeless too. So we're in this huge, ridiculous problem. Again, they're fake accounts, so they're not paying taxes on it. Luis can attest to the fact that some of these people that come up here for 9 months or whatever, and then go home for 3 months, it's like we all laugh at the dollar offers because we have to pay taxes. We have to pay to live here. We have houses. We have all this, that, and the other. Some of these people that come up here, they're sending all the money home, and that money, even dollar orders, that money travels so much farther in South America than it does up here. Up here, money isn't worth anything.
Well, the Priscilla article, the the queen of the illegal accounts. It says that she earned almost $1 million, and she was sending the money to Brazil.
Yeah, exactly. Most of them do. And there's nothing wrong with that if you're here correctly.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, it's that
Point.
system.
I don't have problems with you earning money and helping your family, but doing it in the right
Not
way.
at all.
Good.
Not at all.
That is a good way. That is good that you point that. Yeah.
Because some people, I mean, I have no problem. I've worked a lot in South and Central America doing production work, which all of you know I do, lasers, lighting, that kind of stuff. I love going down there because it's an advantage for me. I get to live for cheap while I'm down there and get to go out to dinner for $5 and get an amazing meal. I can't go get an amazing meal for $5 here. You know, I can't even get McDonald's for $5 here.
Responding to Ivanoska, Luis, what are you saying about your to your community about buying illegal accounts, the consequences? And I've been really vocal. I think I'm not gonna say that I'm the only one because that is not fair. But I was the first one on YouTube who in Spanish in the Hispanic community who mentioned the issue, and I've been working in this issue for like almost 3 years, really hard, and I've been receiving the heat, and even I even had legal situations in this matter, and right now I'm not able to go to Walmart and do a Spark because it's really scary, because gangs from another countries are working with Spark driver accounts and DoorDash accounts and Uber Eats accounts,
And that's why I was careful to use the gang word. But to be honest,
well,
I mean, are the lead gang members at Walmart Spark? No. But do they have people in place who are executing their directions? Absolutely.
I'm not able to go to Walmart because I'm not able to work in peace after everything I've done for these last 3 years. So I prefer for my peace of mind and the peace of mind of my family, just not go to a parking lot and do a Spark driver. I cannot do that. I receive messages from people saying, Luis, can you share this information? But please don't say my name. And I usually, if I see that is an information that I can really share, and this information is gonna help, and it's not gonna cause damage or something, I will share it. But I am the one who is sharing that information, not the guy that is saying, please don't mention my name for my name for security. Well, I am sharing the information, and
right.
I just that is why I cannot. This is not good. The environment of insecurity is not healthy. And the fact that these apps are not doing like anything, because nothing is changing.
Nothing.
Everything is getting worse. So that is what we are trying to change here, and that is where we are trying to put the light on, so everybody can see. And I think we have 3 roads. And going back to my Thursday live stream, and I remember when I spoke to you in a couple of days before the live stream, I mentioned we have 3 roads to take. First is media.
Yep.
That is the first road to take. The second one is politics. But you gave me a third one, and that is what we are working on right now.
Yeah.
With the change.org and all. And you mentioned, by the way, the combination. You mentioned that that for example, the change.org. You mentioned another platform. Someone have to be vocal to the with the end of mind of get what information, transparency, where to pick up, where to drop off, how much are you going to pay, and why am I being deactivated?
Yes.
What are you doing? Transparency include that. What are you doing to protect me, to protect my data, to protect your customer? Who is delivering the order? Who is getting the codes to the gates to the customer department? It's crazy. I have so many things to share, but Ivanoska, I've been really vocal with the community about the consequences of having illegal accounts.
And I'm going to add something that I have recently come across. I think Luis and I can both say that it was a year ago. Well, it's just shy. In about a few weeks, it'll be a year since we did the town hall here. Since
Yes.
that town hall, where we had a senator, a House representative, I've met other politicians in other states, and I've started opening their eyes. But it's been a real nail grinder. Most of them really don't understand it. But what I'm making sure they understand is, hey, the 5 people who are standing outside your office saying we need to be unionized and be employees represent 1% of the people on the platform. So that's why these type movements. Another thing to hit on about Luis saying about there's no reason for him to go to Spark. There's I even see a second reason why he shouldn't, because when you people email into us, like Luis, especially, who's been over there and seen I've seen some video that he has that I don't even know if you've released, of things that go on in these spark lots. I mean, we've seen some other people have videos out, so you guys don't have to think, why aren't you being transparent and releasing it? Well, there's other videos of drones going over and they show them. So don't worry about it. There's videos out there if you want to track them down. But Luis has a huge YouTube channel in the Spanish community. How safe is it for him to go over there? Very, very likely somebody recognizes him.
I even record a video. I was doing a Spark drive. That was the last time I did a Spark driver order, and that was months ago. I don't feel protected by the platform, Spark driver platform. I made a video like maybe 5 months ago, and I was being recorded in a car, and I show it because I was doing this Spark driver order, and the guy who was giving me the articles, he left the scan in the roof of my car. So I went and I grabbed the scanner and I went to the door of the Walmart door, and I knocked the door waiting so I can give him the scan, and the door had a mirror, this glass that is a mirror, and I could see behind me, and there was a couple of cars parking, and there was a guy recording me, and that was weird. I don't know why he was recording me, and I record that and I put it on the video. I'm not inventing and creating stories. It's in the video. This guy recording me. So that day I said, I'm not coming back to do a Spark driver, and that is a situation. The thing is that right now, to make changes is really easy to think about a union. And the thing is that union are not updated. And if you go to a union, the only thing that they have in mind is minimum wage. They don't, and most of the
don't forget, they also have their interest at heart, which is they want a piece of the pie too.
Oh, definitely.
On top of crappy orders, they want to be taking a piece of that for themselves.
And we're living in an era of innovation, technology, where we can change things in other ways. We have social media, we have emails, we have different ways to do changes that are not really, and you can impact more in social media because, for example, every time I do a live stream, I have 400 people connected, 300 people connected, but the day after I receive 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, depending on the subject of views.
Which is why you need to create that change.org.
Yes, I will. And here's the thing. New York made the changes with this group of Los Deliveristas, and this group represents 3,000 people, 3,000 drivers. They 3,000 human beings change the way to work in one city. They don't have the reach that we have. They don't have the engage. They don't have the trust. They don't have the power that we in social media have, because right now the public perception of union is not positive. I know that a bunch of people want to create a union to make a positive change, but let me tell you this news. In the public perception, people want to be united, but not with unions. Make a poll, and you will see what people want and don't want. And people don't want a union. People want change and be organized, and I do understand that. But right now, the technology, the era that we are living, is not an era that can be on the same page of an union.
Unions are dinosaurs anyway. They've been falling for years in the traditional sense, but they never. I mean, when Travis Kalanick in 2009 started Rideshare, before all the other apps even, it was based on the fact of this is an independent contractor gig where the word independent contractor should tell everybody you can't be in a union. You can't. By definition, you can't be in a union because that's all. Unions are for employees. They just are. They're for employees. You can't be like your own business as a plumber and go join. I mean, there might be some independent ones, but I don't know what they would offer you that would be helpful. But like if you're a plumber and you have your own business, you're not in a union. We are our own businesses. A lot of drivers don't really see it that way. They see it as, well, I multi-app. Okay, good start. But I multi-app and, I just take the offers they give. And I feel like if you haven't ever been in the traditional independent contractor space or don't understand it very well, please reach out and ask because you have all the power. I mean, don't let these companies with their crap AR, their deactivation policy. Let's pick on DoorDash, their tier programs, their whatever they call top dashers or their most favorite users kind of thing. The ones who will take crap orders to get at best decent ones. These are all illegal in every state in this country. You can't do that. That goes against every state's independent contractor law. And politicians are waking up to this stuff. I mean, the deactivations alone, I can shed some light that you guys will want to know on something with deactivations, because a lot of people ask me, well, I hear it all the time. I'm sure you do too. And it's been a lot more lately too. Not just, we hear it on I've seen a lot of people saying, well, this content creator was deactivated or this one was. It's more than the content creators. They're deactivating like nobody's business. And the deactivation, everybody's like, I don't even get told why. I do agree that sucks, but here's the problem. If DoorDash, let's keep picking on them for a minute. If DoorDash were to send you, you're deactivated, and here's why. Here's the date. Here's what happened. You're deactivated. You guys need to understand that is the same as like if you have a W-2 job and you've been fired. That is a termination letter. That is, you've been terminated from the DoorDash platform. How can I be terminated? I'm an independent contractor. You cannot fire me. I mean, if you do, you need to kind of have cause and bring it up in court. That's how crazy this gets. And a lot of people say, but the TOS says, and here's my fight on that. There is not one state in this country where any of these apps, TOS, overrides the state independent contractor law. Because if the TOS says ABC and it doesn't align with the independent contractor law in that state, then they're breaking the independent contractor law in the TOS. So it's a big problem because people are going by this. Well, the TOS says, well, here's my thing. Don't worry about the TOS. I mean, if you start to get held accountable on that level, maybe you don't want to be working with that company. Because sooner or later, I mean, who knows when it'll be, they're going to get in a lot of trouble for this. It's not just going to be slap on the wrist fines anymore. They're going to start saying, enough. You guys have really screwed things up. And for the people who say that they go out and fight and say they want to be employees of these companies, really? Because if you're struggling so bad with these companies, why on earth would you want to be an employee of them under a schedule? I mean, job security gone. If there's just no reason. If you're going to be a W-2 employee, go get a better job. I mean, I would rather work at McDonald's as a W-2 than work for Uber. I'm just saying,
And if you ask me transparency is a cause that I want to fight.
Transparency is a must, guys.
Definitely,
it is a must. I mean, complete. I've said this to Luis Stu before he goes on with this. Is that, look, acceptance rate? I've always said, get rid of the acceptance rate. make it so that it's not even seen by me or used by your algorithm, and get rid of acceptance rate, and don't have any kind of tiers, but get rid of the acceptance rate, and don't penalize me if I don't take orders, and show me all of the details up front, pick up, drop off, and full amount. Because like we learned in the Para days with tip transparency, right? Why did Para have to do this? Once a company is able to, so if there's a dispatch company that's using independent contractors and it gets all of this information, it has the tip, it has the amount, it has the pickup and the drop off, they're breaking laws by not sending all of that over to you. You have the right to see all of that before making an informed decision.
Do you believe that Tony Xu can call Meta people, Facebook people, and ask them for favors and talk with them about issues? I mean, we're talking about two huge companies.
Here's my thing, Luis, is that what good would it do? Because here,
No, what I'm saying is, and here's the point. When Para went out, it was viral. Everybody was talking about Para and the benefits that Para have. DoorDash in a couple of days changed everything because of Para. They knew about Para.
They knew about. See, guys, you need to know they knew about Para when we were small, when we were 10, 20,000. That first round of cease and desist. But at its peak, Para had 240,000 users. DoorDash started hiring engineers strictly. They had more engineers at one point hiding the code than they did writing the code to run the damn platform. I mean, what kind of scum, again, I'm going to use it. What kind of scumbaggery platform says, hey, let's have more engineers who are being deceitful and making sure you don't see everything you need than the people writing the code correctly to make it work properly?
Right now, the industry of delivery is gonna go on. It's gonna keep coming. It's gonna keep working. The delivery is gonna be here. The thing is that the companies that lead right now the delivery war are Uber, DoorDash, Grubhub.
Mm-hmm.
To finalize with the union subject, and I want to say this. Another thing about unions is that they are always working with the rideshare issue, never with the delivery issue. And that is something that for me is really personal. It's really personal.
Oh, yeah.
It's really easy to make changes. For example, Prop 2022 in California is working for for the majority of drivers. Every driver that call me say
if they do delivery, it does.
If they do delivery, it works.
Not rideshare. It was created for rideshare.
But what is union saying? Let's take out Prop 22. They are not thinking about delivery drivers. So another thing. So in today's world, DoorDash, Uber, Grubhub are leading the delivery industry. We are not complaining here. We are working to defend the delivery work, the gig work, and the rideshare work. So it's not about complaining, it's about changing, because in the end, we love our work. I love to do delivery. You love rideshare, you love deliveries. This is a great work.
And we all love the flexibility. Let's be honest. That is one of the key points, and that is a key point of something that could be removed.
So if
that hurts even the part-timers. That hurts everybody.
So if I want to do a delivery order, if I want to do a delivery work, I have to go to Uber. I have to go to DoorDash. But they are not playing fair. What we are trying to do here is to try to make things fair for everybody. And transparency is a good way to start. So I love my work. I love doing deliveries. I love doing Spark Driver, but I don't love well, and here's the other thing. France, they have Uber there, and the government said to Uber, the Uber papers, that was like 3 years ago, 2 years
Mhm.
ago, they say you need to pay taxes.
Mhm.
We don't want fake accounts.
Yeah.
Eliminate fake accounts now. And they did it.
You know, I mean, just
And
to bring up France Rideshare, they use a RFD necklace. I mean, here's a perfect example of an easy solution. You want to make sure it's the driver. There's if you want to be a black cab driver in London, it takes 2 to 3 years of schooling. It's almost like going to college to be a true black cab driver. If you want to be another driver, you have to go through the TNC. They made like a fast track for rideshare, a 2-week course that you need to take. You need to know the laws and everything and prove it before you're doing rideshare. Then they give you an RFD badge that you wear, has your picture, has a little RFD reader in it. And when the person gets close to the car, it says, "This is your car, this is your driver," because they're wearing it around their neck. This is a $2 item, guys, these lanyards. Why the heck don't we have these here in this country? I mean, this is a
there's
simple
no
solution. It makes sure that you got the right rider. He's legal. This is him. You're going to be able to compare the picture, and the app is saying, yes, this is the car. This is him.
the right to work. They have right to work, but in a organized, control, and safety way.
Yeah.
Because going to using the restaurant example, if you are working with a restaurant and you only need 10 waiters, we're living in a era, in a situation right now where bad actors are creating a situation where you have a restaurant that only need 10 waiters and they are putting 100,
Yes.
and there's no control. So if we, the waiters who went through a process to get the job, to get the work, not the job but the work,
Mm-hmm.
so now we see all these people that don't have even backgrounds, and who are they doing the work, and it's easy to say, well, go to another place. Well, yeah, a bunch of people are doing that, but you, Steve, and I, we're gonna work to make things different.
Oh, yeah. I mean, here's a perfect example of oversaturation. Let's say that a market, we'll keep it real easy. Let's say that a market needs 500 delivery drivers on a Friday night. So the platform only has 250. So those guys are raging and they're hustling and they're making their money and they're grabbing everything. And the prices are going to be higher, right? Because they need to still maintain standards of getting the delivery out quicker than 3 hours. So that's all going to happen. Now, what they want to do is hit 500, but what they really want to do is hit 2,000. And not only because then they have the oversaturation and the closest driver to do it as quick as possible, as they say, but the real reason is once you only need 500 and you have 2,000, you can drop every order down to $1.
Mhm.
The more oversaturation, the less pay.
And the more desperation, talking about people who really need to work right now and they don't have the paper, they don't have the account, they are accepting those orders.
Yes.
And there's the issue. And
Yeah.
don't make me start in percentages and the commission of restaurants.
Oh my God.
Oh Jesus! 3 weeks ago, I interviewed this a friend of mine. He is from Dallas. Alex. Alex had because he had to. He had this cloud kitchen, and the percentages. Jesus Christ!
Mm-hmm.
50% of
Yeah.
almost of the money, of the income that they have to give it to the apps.
And that's sometimes just on the menu item.
It
I
was
mean, you might there's a place in Seattle. There's 3 locations, a very popular place. They sell a chicken skewer. I've never been to it, so I'm not familiar with it, but it's kind of city known if you live up there. It's very like people love these. They're $8.50 if you go into the place to buy it yourself. So if Luis and I walked in there, we could get them for $8.50. If you
Mhm.
order them on DoorDash, they're $19 before fees, taxes, delivery fee, and tip. They're more than twice as much just for the item to put in the basket before all the fees and everything. And then in Seattle, for example, they also add a $5 city council fee. for them passing the pay up legislation. So now you've got, instead of a $8.50 skewer that I can walk in and buy, you're going to have to pay 19. Then you're going to pay delivery fee. Then you're going to pay taxes and fees, which the taxes and fees always comes out to a lot because that's where they bury their fees. Then you're going to see $5 city fee. And this is why this is a perfect example of, I have no idea how a business survives like this, because how on earth, I didn't grow up this way. How on earth, yes, I've heard of the driver or the worker getting screwed over, but how on earth do you not care about customers at all? They have now passed along the fees. They don't care about the customers. They don't care about the restaurants. Seattle alone is close to, or in late April, Seattle was close to losing $10 million year to year in revenue on app delivery platforms. And now we're seeing articles about restaurants closing.
I have one here. If you want, I will share it to you on the chat, so you can share it with the audience. And it's about Seattle, and it's about what's going on. Restaurants are closing. Restaurant apps are just it's hard what's going on over there. Delivery fee fallout. Seattle restaurants closing drastically, changing business model. That is what's going on in Seattle right now.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna share both these links, but this is where it gets crazy, because I think that everybody thinks oversaturation, that means that I'm gonna have trouble scheduling a DoorDash shift, or that means I'm probably not gonna make as much tonight. It goes deeper than that, guys, because with the oversaturation comes the apps loving it and going, sweet, we get to say that instead of a $3 base pay, you're getting $1, because somebody's going to take it. We have 500% as many drivers as we need out tonight. So they're going to take, like Luis said, they're going to take whatever they get. Just period. This link is the one that Luis shared earlier about the New York Post. And this is that one is related to the, that's the, in there too, people are getting deactivated for, I don't know if you saw this, but, not only are the delivery workers getting deactivated because what they've been doing is milking the clock. And I get it. I mean, you're not getting as many orders, so they're taking a little longer to get where they need to go. In the city that needs it the most, they have ended walking. The option to walk and dash?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's gone. And it's like one of the only cities in the world that needs it. New York needs walkers because you can't park anywhere. So that's gone, though. They took it away because that was taking too much active time and they were having to pay them too much. So my question becomes, what happens come winter? I mean, come winter, cars can barely move at all. So you need the walkers. Now, what are you going to do?
Current regulations, the current laws and metrics in the apps are making us being more employees, less independent, and the metrics, for example, Tony Shu, Dara Karshohi, how do I make them employees without saying that they are employees? They create metrics. And the current regulation are making us more employees, and the current regulation are, I think, when you put in the hands of a law your wage, that is the moment when you start to lose more freedom. So I think that the focus here has to be transparency, because New York, how do you go back to solve the situation in New York? They're gonna have to go back to the law, and it already took them like 2 years, a year and a half to make that law that is creating all those problems. How do you go back? It's just crazy. I don't know.
I mean, the other thing, guys, is like, I guess here's a question that I'd like to propose to anybody watching now in the live, on the replay, or on the audio podcast. Email me at Steve@Rideshare Rodeo if you want to keep it private. But would you be okay with an app that says we don't use AR, and We don't care if you take an order or not. And we show all of the details up front, even if that order is only $1 with no tip. So you might see a bunch of crap orders, but there's nothing at all being used or leveraged against you. I say yes, because that's free market trade. If a company wants to charge $1 an order and go out of business, that's their right. You know what I mean? But if you have to show complete transparency, I honestly believe less orders would be taken at those crap numbers. This is all gamification. It's all meant to play on, oh my gosh, I got to get to 80%. Again, 80 tiers, top dasher, best earner, all this crap that's been constantly moving and changing. Those are only W-2 employee terms.
Mm-hmm.
Those are not independent contractor terms.
So now to do the Dash now, I have to be an employee of DoorDash.
I mean, they don't say that, but yeah, kind of.
They should call those tiers programs not like silver, platinum, and gold. They should call it employee 1, employee 2, super employee. That is the right expression, and that is how we have to see it.
Yeah. And that's why I'm hoping your change.org gets as much footing as it should, because I put it up on there, guys, earlier, driver singular rights.org. Go add your name to that. There's even a section in there when you add your name to have it write your congressmen and your senators and your representatives. And it has a boilerplate that comes up. So if you're like, I don't want to write the actual letter, you don't have to. Just put in your name and email, and it'll send it out as it is. Or you can swipe it out and write them whatever you want. They are your elected officials. They can't come back at you at all. They can't come get you. You're allowed to say what you want. I mean, don't swear and like threaten them. But I mean, outside of that, you're allowed to speak your mind. That's what this country is. And they should hear from more of us, because the less of us they hear from, I can tell you this for a fact, we outnumber the people who want to be W-2 on these platforms. Probably, I mean, I would in my head say 99% of us don't want to be employees, but let's call it 95. And I don't even think that's even close to right. I don't even think 5% of the people want to be employees. However, the only people that the politicians are hearing from are people who want to be employees on these platforms, or at least say they do. They might even be just fronts for unions and whatnot. But the bottom line is they're not hearing from us. They're hearing from the people who want to be that. And they therefore think, well, this is what everybody must want.
And that is
people only they're congressmen when they're mad.
And that is not the real issue. And we saw it in Denver. So if you ask me how to resume everything at union, you just need to be organized. Sorry about this. I had the article here, and an ad pop up and it create a situation here. You don't need a union. You just need to be organized, and you can organize by creating a Facebook group, by writing us, so we can create things and giving the first step. But you don't need to be in an organization and pay a monthly fee. No, you don't need that. You just need to. And we in social media have more power, and we are updated.
When David and I created driverrights.org, I mean, that website took an entire weekend of our time. We were going back and forth on the wording and all this, but we had it done in a weekend. We have now made it so that all you need to do is go in and put your first, last name, and email. The rest is all done for you. If you don't want to type a letter, it's already typed. I mean, like, everything's done for you to make a big difference. And we made that so it was that easy for you. And that's what Luis is about to do for his community, to say, hey, listen, go to thischange.org, just put your email in. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, because they can, like, you can set these up so you search by zip code. Okay, here's my zip code, and it'll say, here's your representatives. Okay, great. Add your email. The more, and that way, if he sees, like I was telling him earlier, like last week, if you see that 200 people in Houston signed up, go demand a meeting with your senator, or with at least your House rep member, because they're going to have to give you that time of day, because they've had 5-6 people say they want to be employees. Well, if Luis has a list of 200 people saying, I absolutely do not want that, And I want to be the opposite. I want to be able to have flex time, work when I want, work around my family time and all this. And again, a lot of people have brought up the part-timers. I do have to mention this. Part-timers are actually the most vulnerable that there are. Because if this happens and it goes to like scheduling and stuff like that, where are these part-timers aren't going to stick around? People who are looking to make an extra $70 to either pay a bill or to go out that weekend, they're just not going to do it. They're going to say, I have my W-2. I'm just not going to do this. I can't schedule it.
I am a part-timer, and if I want to go out right now and do some orders, I cannot, because now I have a tier program. And if I live in New York, I have to schedule. And now in New York, they are not selling bots, which I'm against. They are not selling only accounts, which I'm also against, but they are selling hours now.
Yep.
This is the time that we are living.
Yep.
There's a market for hours. It's crazy. Hey, traveler.
I see that even Oscar also put in here, in Chicago, the only problem is the illegal account holders. Again, guys, don't take this wrong. This isn't just migrants. This is also people deactivated who go buy a new account or use a family member. But using illegal accounts, on top of that, they also have bots and 2 phones. And yeah, all this is happening. This is not, this is not propaganda. I think that we're finally at a point where people aren't going, is that really true? I think every one of us knows it's true. I honestly, I mean, like if you're wondering to what level and whatnot, I get that. But I think we all acknowledge this is not maybe, this is a fact.
And the more time you take to realize, and the more time that you are thinking about if you do something or you don't do something, the more damage is going to cause, because we need a solution right now. Because I've been sharing, and you too, sharing this information like from a year ago, but some people, they don't want to see the truth, and they don't want to share it, and they just want to live in Disneyland. This is not Disneyland. The things are, well, New York Post, like in a weekly basis, Business Insider in a weekly basis are sharing information about this subject. So this is a fact. This is not a made up story. So we have to do something about it.
Yeah. I mean, there's articles out today, like you brought in the one, there's articles out right now about the mass onslaught of rideshare drivers quitting now that they've moved to the $3 base pay. I mean, it's bad enough to even take a delivery $3 base pay, a half a mile. I'm of the view that $5 minimum just to turn my car on. Anything under $5, forget it. Like you're just screwing around with me. You're wasting my time. But for $3, you want me to put a person in my car? And if they're going only a very short distance, that might be all I make if they don't tip. No way. No way I'm taking that responsibility. No way that's not worth $3 to me. The risks and everything involved, wear and tear, gas, all of it brought in, you're not making money at that. You're not making any money. And so, I mean, there's people quitting. Hey, what's up, Toby?
3 years ago, I was doing videos about how to improve and how to create tactics to make a better money doing DoorDash, Grubhub, Uber.
Yeah. And at that time, it made sense. There were strategies.
Right now, I cannot be hypocrite. I cannot go and try to make orders. I'm not able. My market just is damaged, and I just cannot. And I know that there's a situation with the economy and the country and all those things. Yes, I know, but there's another issues that are there that are avoiding me to create content that like I used to. And I have 2 roads to take again. One, Disneyland, the other one being vocal. And I'm choosing this one.
I think that I know other people are doing it too. And again, I gave Sergio some props. They have Chris and Sergio have their own show too. And there's other good people that we know, but Luis and I are probably the most vocal in the community about this. I mean, I spend so many hours looking into this stuff, you guys, because it does break every independent contractor rule. And in every TOS, remember that in every TOS, it says we're independent contractors. That's what they want it to say in writing. They don't even try and skirt tail that wording. They say it. But then in every single state, they're breaking almost every independent contractor law. It's just impossible. You can't do that. Even Oscar here said, everyone deserves to have the right to abundance. Just do it the right way. Agreed. She also said that you can see the little, I think she meant clicks sitting around. She's talking about Spark because she does a lot of Spark around. So that's so obviously that's ridiculous. She's talking about clicks of like almost like it feels a little threatening. Like maybe I shouldn't be, and you're just doing gig work for God's sake.
I share a video, and here's another thing that is crazy. I 3 weeks ago I share a video. This girl called me, and this girl was really upset, and she told me, Luis, I was doing Spark Driver. I park, and suddenly I felt like a hard thing in my car, like a punch, like something hit my car, and when I went outside, drivers playing football, soccer. In the parking lot of Walmart, and she was upset, and she started screaming, and she was upset. Come on, and yes, maybe she was too loud, but the thing is that these guys were playing soccer in the parking lot of Walmart waiting for orders. Mm-hmm. I posted that video, and you know what? I was really sad for when I read the comments. The comments were, "Oh, the girl is crazy." The girl was screaming, but nobody mentioned nothing about the soccer situation. The soccer situation, we call it football in my
yeah.
The soccer situation, and I was amazed because everybody was against the girl, and I was like, "You don't see it. People is playing soccer in the parking lot of Walmart. That is." I mean, I was amazed by the comment.
And to that point, where is the Walmart security? Because they would, before these apps, they would never let that happen. If you and I bought a soccer ball and went out to the parking lot and started playing, they would, before gig apps, they would be on us like nothing and be like, "Get out of here, you guys."
It's not safe. And now I have to, I'm not able to complain. So if I don't like the fact that I'm going to park and these guys are playing soccer and they can damage my car, if I don't like that, I have to leave because there's no rules. I mean, this is crazy. This is crazy.
Yeah. I mean, while we start wrapping it up here, I mean, is anybody in your community even having any luck with Spark? I mean, maybe a couple here or there, but I mean, like, is any like decent size group of people going, "I'm doing great with Spark"?
Not great, but I haven't heard. Last week I received a message from this driver, and this driver, he sent me like 1,000 voice notes to answer you. No, I know that some people are just getting money, but not the money that they had. And I received these messages. I'm going to be fast with this because I know that we're wrapping up. Luis from North Carolina. Sorry. Let me just go. Eduardo sent me like 1,000 voice notes. He worked with Spark, and in these voice notes, like 30 minutes in voice notes, basically what he said was, I lost 60% of my earnings with the Spark drivers because of this situation. So I know that maybe some people are still seeing orders and good money, but it's a minimum. It's not the majority of the people.
And just so everybody's aware, if you're going, well, all the gig apps are having this issue. Clearly, DoorDash and Spark are the top two. Uber Eats is having it a little bit, but I mean, look at Shipt. Shipt isn't having this issue at all.
In fact, because they have a private, you have the option of shit package, and you have to go to this Walmart warehouse. they put like security, and now you have to give your ID before you go in. Of course, how do you do that in Walmart? Well, ask employees to ask for the IDs, but in Ship is working on it.
Yeah. No, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, like, are that many people against showing your ID? Because most of the people watching Luis and I mean, you guys have IDs, you have real accounts. Most of you, I'm sure. So would you be that opposed? I'm not opposed to showing my ID because I know the system needs to be fixed.
Me neither. I just want to be in a fair game.
In fact, it seems a little stupid to me that they don't, to be honest.
The same thing with confirmation with the orders. If you go to a restaurant and the guy asks you to confirm the order, do it. It's for security reasons. A bunch of drivers stealing orders. I went to this Chinese restaurant and doing an Uber Eats order, and I record that. I was doing a video, and my order, and that is a really big issue with Uber Eats right now. You go to a restaurant and they steal your order. You don't find the order. It's a huge issue right now.
It is a huge issue, and I saw Delivering with Bree did a video about it, about the cancellation money's been taken away too. So if you get there and it's been taken, you've just lost a ton of time. That's all it is. But here's a comment from Brian. He's in Orlando. He has not seen any shop and pays in 2 to 3 months. Always see guys in 1 to 2 cars overseeing their runners. I know this is happening. We just didn't say it that bluntly. But if one of you is going to say it, well, I'll put it up on the screen, because if it was something slanderous that I didn't think was true, but I know this is true.
And don't make me start with the videos and the photos that I have. It's crazy. I receive photos like in a weekly basis showing so many things that you are like, Jesus, this is Walmart. I think not Walmart, but Spark is promoting these actions. I don't know. It's crazy. Because the videos that I receive, man, this is crazy. I received one from Gino. Gino is showing me some crazy things that are happening in Walmart. He's crazy.
So look, I think here's the wrap of it is that we can't dictate what these companies will charge. In fact, a lot of us feel like our hands are tied and there's nothing we can do. Period. Like, if you want to work it, you're just going to have to do what they say. Well, first of all, you don't. You're an independent contractor, though. I can decide that I want to go on a month vacation to go see Luis and hang out in Houston, come back here and turn all my gig apps on, and I can still work them. So there's a perk. That's a positive, because no job in the world would allow me to do that. I can do that. But again, going back to the oversaturation, the more the drivers there are, the less that they'll pay. They love that. So can we get to the companies and say, this is how you need to run your company, which has been the form of attack that most people take? No, we can't. But finally, some lawmakers and other people are getting on board. There are some people, there's a RICO case about to go on for Uber Eats in Nevada. That's huge. That's going to be inclusive to Grubhub, DoorDash, Uber Eats, all of them. Because RICO means everybody is under the umbrella. So they've got fake restaurants popping up. They've got this. It's like everybody's scamming in this space, and there needs to be, it's wild, wild west days. There are no laws. And I'm not saying, look, we need 100 all regulations, this, that, but we need some guidance. We need some definition, because this is not okay. You can't just put a bunch of, because there's people fighting. There are people fighting over a $4 order. And I don't mean verbally. There are some people getting into it.
This is a $7 billion industry. More. Well, just Uber. I saw an article saying that the Uber worth, it was like $7-8 billion. This is important. It's a $7 billion company. So this is important, and something have to be controlled. Not control is the word, but transparent. That is the word. Transparent. We need transparency, and we have to work.
And that's the one thing we can fight for. That's the one thing that even the lawmakers can get on board with. They understand that. Like, what do you mean? Like, okay, you understand what an independent, you've ever hired a plumber? Sure. They come to your house, they give you an estimate, you decide if you want to do it, right? Has all the details, right? Yeah. Okay, well, In the gig economy, they do things like, hey, here's a $2 base pay order, might have a tip, might not, we don't know. Might I've seen ones that I thought might have an extra tip that literally have gotten down to 25 cents more. That's it. It'll go from 625 to 650. It's not like back in the days where there's even a hidden tip that's worth it. But the fact is they can't even do that. That's not legal. And there's lawmakers who are getting behind this stuff now who are up for reelection. And they know a lot of the migrant problem is here. So there's some perfect storms happening that are allowing us actually some movement to maybe make a difference, because everybody's always saying, what difference can you really make? Though the difference is we can get to the lawmakers. Those are elected officials. We put those people into their positions. They have to listen to constituents. Now, do Houston officials have to listen to me? No, but I'll reach out to any officials I can and let them know your problem's going on where you are too. And I've been talking to people here. I name drop other people I work with, and Stephanie Vigil, or Senator Priola, or you can name drop these people, and they know them. So I mean, all of a sudden it's worth it. And then I can say, also, you've got a guy, Luis, in your market who knows a ton about the problems going on down there. You need to talk to him. We need to start getting vocal, because the fight isn't about the pay. Don't let them trick you with minimum wage and benefits. Benefits are another joke that we don't even have time for today, but benefits are basically, they're always paid off by unused days and you're buying into them. So really the company breaks even on a benefit. So that's another whole joke. But the bottom line is minimum pay, raising base pay, making sure that pay isn't what it is. It's transparency.
If someone comes to you, the viewer, if someone comes to you telling you, we're going to create this organization and we're going to make the delivery app to pay you the medical bills and the gas and give you minimum wage, you should run from that person, because that is not possible. Okay. Yeah. It's just not possible. A delivery app, and I'm saying about the gas because I saw the gas request in one of in this organization that they were like promoting this type of request, and that is crazy. And the politics and the the people who can make really the change in politics with the delivery app, they have to listen a bunch of things. For example, on Uber, and this is part of the transparency on Uber and Spark Driver, you receive this offer and you accept the offer based on the money. And 2 days later, you realize that the customer took out your tip. And there's no way that you can fight against that, because they say that the customer have the right. Well, yeah, but you have to protect the tip of the driver. And it's unfair that you accept a $20 offer and 2 days later you see that that offer was just $2. So that is another issue that is going on.
Yeah. And so the last comment we have here before we say goodbye here, you guys, today and this week is from Ivanaska again in Chicago. What I've been doing is, and I'm curious to get your take on this, Luis, I tell my customers that ask me to put their groceries in the kitchen to be aware of illegal accounts and make sure the photo matches and if not, report to Walmart. So 2 parts to this that I'm glad she's raising the point, because I agree with it. But some of these people who get the illegal accounts also are able to upload a picture, so it will match. That's a problem. The other thing that I'm seeing here is that I'm curious what reporting it to Walmart even does. Well, this is just me. This is just an opinion. This is not a fact. I can't prove it, but I'm very, very suspicious of Walmart being involved in this on some level. Even if it's just, okay, we get that you guys are doing some shady stuff, we're not going to look over there.
Well, I'm gonna give you an example. Oscar, please use a body cam. Please use a body cam every time you go into a customer house. That is crazy. And it's good that you can share information with the customers, because when we talk about media, our end in mind is to let the customer know what's going on. I talked to this police officer and I told him, "Are you a Walmart customer?" And he told me, "Yeah, I do. I asked my groceries from the Walmart platform," and he was amazed when I told him what was going on. So, first thing, use a body cam. The other thing is, um, Juan Carlos is a driver who lives in California. He was using his Spark Driver account. He had his Spark Driver account, and he was working. And while he was working, he received a message: "You are blocked from the platform." They deactivate him. The interesting part was that while he is still deactivated, his metrics were going up and up and up. So there was this promo that he had to um, um, uh, like achieve the goal in the metrics so he can apply for and get money from the platform.
Yeah.
But he was deactivated. By the end of the month, he achieved the metrics being deactivated. So what was going on there? What happened with his metrics? He was deactivated, and the metrics still were going up. So someone was using his account.
Yeah.
That is that is crazy.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing too, guys, is I would absolutely say, I hope you're making hundreds of, I do dumpling, which is run it yourself business. And I can tell you this, unless you've gone down to the state house, remember these gig apps are, they want to treat us like W-2 employees and pay us like independent contractors. This is a big problem because they expect you to know every part of the independent contractor law I always refer to, and they know none of you do. And here's the thing, where even Oscar's like, when I go into somebody's house, I would absolutely say, unless you're making, and even it's not even a money amount, I wouldn't be going in there because you're not bonded. Maybe you are, even Oscar, but unless you've gone down to the state house and gotten bonded, Spark does not have your back while you're in their house. If something were to happen in their house, that's going to be a lawsuit involving you and the client. And Spark will walk away.
Another thing for my friends who do a Spark Driver that are watching this video right now, this live stream, I have a video of a person who have this link, because you might think, well, they have the face ID recognition. Well, this link that the bad actors create jump this step. So forget about face ID. Some people laugh of that. So that the fake ID of, and I have the video. So it's Spark Driver. If you wanna contact me, I can share the video to you so you can do something about it. This is not a lie. I have the video. So don't send me a cease and desist because I have the video. Just write me a message and I will gladly send it to you so you can see how people are laughing of your face ID recognition technology.
Yeah.
Send me the video.
I would say the best one out there, oddly, is not my favorite platform, but it's Instacart for facial recognition. Because Ubers, you just put in the circle, you push the button, and it says, "Okay, it's you." That's not even doing it. Doesn't even work. It works on Microsoft. Its efficiency is like 68%. But at least Instacart says, "Look forward, turn left, turn right." So it's using a little bit of a facial scan, but it's still not there. None of these facial recognitions are there. Don't believe that for a second.
Yeah.
It's just to make you think that, oh, see that problem that you heard about all the illegal accounts? That's not true. How could that be true with facial recognition? Whatever. During the pandemic, I put duct tape over my mouth and bulged my eyes out and did a facial recognition for Uber. And it said, "Thanks for verifying."
Wow.
What I was showing in my facial expression was, "I've been kidnapped. Please help me." That's what I was trying to get across. And it said, you can go drive.
Wow. Woohoo!
Now, again, it was the pandemic. If you're wondering, like, really, it was the pandemic. You were supposed to be wearing a mask, but I had silver duct tape on my mouth. Come on. These
I,
are just to appease people and make people think that it works. They don't work. None of this stuff works.
no. Well, the Instacart bot worked with. By the way, I received a message from a bot seller, and they were. I made a video of that. They were they were offering me $500, 250 per bot that I sell. So I made a video. They sent me this email saying that I'm gonna make really huge money if I sell the bots, 250 per bot per account. And but that is not the thing. I got to meet this guy. He didn't know who I was. And he told me I sell Instacart bots. And I was like, oh yeah, wow, incredible. And how did that work? Can you show me? And yeah, definitely. And he opened his account and he showed me the Instacart, Instacart account. By the way, he just came to the state, like he had like 3 weeks, and he already had an account of an Instacart account. And he showed me the account, and the bot with Instacart work with a different account. It's like a different it's not the like the real Instacart account, but they download a different account
Mm-hmm.
that works like your Instagram account, and have these filters. And he showed it to me, and it was crazy because
Yeah.
he wasn't using the Instacart app, but another one with the same information of the original, but in a different account. That's how Instacart bot works.
Yeah, because you're basically buying a bot that for a certain amount of deliveries, and they all work a little different, but is going to give you X amount of orders or whatever, a dollar
Mm.
total. And it doesn't care which account you're tying it to. It's just going to work till that amount. Then you have to buy a new one.
By the way, I record the guy talking. I have the audio. So Instacart, I can send it to you if you
Well,
want.
I think you agree, Luis. Just everybody don't get involved with the bots.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
mean, another big problem is they literally physically need your password. Don't do it. Don't be giving out. I mean, everybody should know, don't give out your password to anybody, but don't give it out to a guy named Bot Troll on Instagram.
No, and another thing, another business is really popular these days is with the Amazon account. There's a waiting list, and there's a market for and people who are selling the possibility to go out from those lists and activate yourself in the Amazon accounts. Be careful with that. We just post 2 videos last week of people getting scammed with those Amazon waiting list business. Be careful with that, because for example, this lady called me and in my live stream, and she told me that she had to give to these bad actors his license, her driver license. And
Mm-hmm.
it's crazy, so be careful.
Yeah, because then they'll resell the driver's license too.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think they're not doing this, people. I mean, we did a dive into the Facebook marketplace to look into these accounts, these fake accounts, and you can not only get a fake account, you can buy somebody's ID and they make fake ones, they hold it under a blue light showing you the state seal. They'll sell you somebody else's this or that or the other. I went as far as to see that you can buy somebody's credit score. Come on, dude. I mean, just don't get involved in all this nightmare. There's a lot of scamming going on around this at a time when these apps are treating everybody like crap and kind of falling apart.
And remember the article of The Wire that mentioned this lady, the queen of the delivery app
Mhm.
accounts selling business. We can talk really bad things about delivery apps, but one of the things that caught my attention in this article was that Uber talked with the FBI about this situation. So if you're gonna buy and pay for weird things, remember Uber always can share the information with the FBI, and you're gonna be in really big, huge problems.
And if they get this RICO case, which looks like they will, realize that they're not even going to have to ask Uber. They'll just take what they want at that point. And then everybody's under the microscope. So just be careful. Just play straight. If you can't earn playing straight on an app, don't use the app.
Mm-hmm.
Bottom line.
That's right.
I mean, that is the bottom line, because there's as many people playing outside of the boundaries as there are inside of the boundaries these days. So if you can't play inside the boundaries and make money, just don't do it. There's
That's
other
right.
ways to make money. Well, guys, we have ran into overtime. Luis, thank you so much for your time. Always a great discussion. I hope this resonates with a lot of you, because this is what's going on. And this is how many, I mean, we probably named 10 different problems going on that are all major. None of them were minor. They were all major ones, and they're all different from each other. So it's like, instead of solving them, we have a new problem get created every week. It seems like, oh, now there's this. Oh, now there's this. Oh, now there, I mean, and then there's the mass deactivations for no reason. And then there's the putting you back on months later after you contested it, saying, oh, now you're back active. Why? You never explain a thing. But check out Luis. He's at Delivery TV. He owns the Spanish market as far as I'm concerned in this space. And yes, Luis and I dive into tougher topics than how to get around the newest tier system or whatever. Because here's my deal. I don't believe in the tier system. It's illegal. And I'm not going to even tell you how to get around it, because it's illegal. They shouldn't be doing it. I'm more concentrating on getting DoorDash to have to take it down. And that's I think the message is that we need to start really valuing our time. And if you're like, I just can't make money on this app anymore, well, then multi-app, go to other apps, try other things, and if you're a rideshare driver, get some private clients. You're allowed to do that. You're an independent contractor. It says so in the Uber contract. So do what you got to do to earn. But if you're finding the earnings have dropped so far, pivot. Maybe come back to it in a few months, see if things are better. But don't just work it because you're just so used to it. Don't let them think you're an employee. That is their goal. Their goal is to make you think you're tied to this app. You're not.
He's asking what RICO case. What is a RICO case, man?
Okay, so a RICO case is where right now they're coming after Uber in Vegas. And if they can prove that these restaurants, which have been going on for years, have, like, there's restaurants that have said, I don't want to be on Uber. So another kitchen starts up a restaurant, like a ghost kitchen, and says it's the restaurant that's a 5-star steakhouse. But really, it's a 2-star steakhouse using its name because it won't go on Uber. That's what allowed to get in for the RICO case. If the RICO case gets built, what it allows them to do is for the federal government to look into every delivery platform and every database, every algorithm without the company's approval. So it's like the name RICO usually is associated with gangsters, because that's why it was developed. So if a gangster got caught for back in the day, like a mob family got caught covering up money, they would develop a RICO case, and then they could apply it to all the other families and go and look into their financials without having any cause at all. So what it's doing is they're trying to establish something that allows them to look into every corner of all of these companies' books without any legal approval. Or, I mean, that is the legal approval. The RICO case would be the legal approval.
Oh, I remember the old days, Steve, where the conversation was $2 orders and the miles and the customers that had really tricky and crazy instructions on the app. Now everything changed.
Yeah, or even like a porch light. Porch lights used to be a big item. We don't need to talk about porch lights anymore, because there's way bigger issues.
But
in fact, it's time more people start talking about this stuff. In fact, hopefully Luis and I are getting out to some other content creators too, because you guys need to start talking about this, even if it's on the level of your understanding. And if not, email either one of us. We're always willing to help anybody, not creator, non-creator, worker, whatever. Just email us. I mean, that's what we're trying to do here, is build a better community and make it so that these are viable alternatives to earn. They're quickly becoming very difficult to earn on. And the fact is, we need to change that back. So thank you, Luis. Check out his channel. And thank you, everybody, for joining. And we'll see you back here next week on the Rideshare Rodeo.
She was just a baby.